Sponsored by Smaller Portable Cars at Tamworth. And here we go. I think this is going to be a bit of an explosive one tonight. I think. However, my apologies for the last few weeks, dear boys and girls. I was out at a wedding in Newcastle one time, And my good friend Alan and Sue, congratulations, and I know you're listening, guys. You're lovely. And then, obviously, a couple of 3 weeks before that, my brother passed away really suddenly, and I'm one of 9, and then when 9 becomes 8, you start to bring your own kind of mortality into it, don't you? You know what I mean? So yeah, been a difficult time, but we've got to bounce back. We're bounced back, and we have to carry on. We have to carry on. Rob, rest in peace, my dear brother, Everton fan. We've had plenty of banter over the years, plenty of laughs and one thing and another, and. It is what it is, isn't it? You can't change it, can you, guys? Okay, so we are joined tonight by the top team of Chris Browne.
Good evening.
And then, of course, Mr. Paul Hickis.
Good evening.
And, of course, Craig Courtney.
Good evening, all.
The lovely Claire Giblin.
Good evening.
All the way from the United States of America, Mr.
Evening all.
Australian accent there.
Have we got the chairman?
Well, I was thinking it was a great Welsh one, to be honest.
It's getting better. Someone's got to tell you that
nobody
nobody in
makes
America.
Mark Adams down there in sunny Coventry.
Hello, everybody. Good evening.
How are you, kid? Now I don't know about where you are, but there's a monumental biblical.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello.
Hey, chairman of the board.
I thought he was waiting for a big build-up for you, Alan. That's all it was. Don't worry.
Good evening, everybody.
You know, when we were sitting there chatting beforehand, Alan, I didn't hear your voice once.
I'd said all I've got to say before you even thought about coming anywhere near.
Oh, what a bloke. Okay, we have got... right, we'll talk about Saturday, shall we?
I think so.
Dear me, you are a manager of Birmingham City Football Club, and your first home game, you get booed off the pitch.
Yeah, but Nick, that's disgraceful, first of all.
It is disgraceful. It's disgraceful. We lost a game of football, right? That's not the end of the world, is it? It's a game of football, and that's where I was going to come to that and say exactly the same, Craig, to be fair. But, names don't win games.
That rhymes?
I know, yeah.
I've been
Sorry from Countdown.
I've been thinking about that for all weekend. Names don't win games.
Craig, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, have team, we made the right choice with changing the manager.
Let's talk about the game on Saturday first, because we were away at Southampton. So I know, Claire, you went, so Mr. Chairman, you were there as well. So good to hear your thoughts. I watched it. So, there's I guess the same opinion, but over to yourself. I mean, Claire's made that journey. You go first and then Mr. Chairman.
I think it's a hard one, really. I was a bit shocked at the
formation. I was a bit shocked that, you know, who he played where. No Stansfield was a shocker in itself. You know, or everybody was going mad when he took Dembele off. I don't know what he sees in Burke. However, it was a stonewall penalty. Yeah. It happened right in front of us. Like, we all were going, what's going on? You know, I just think, I mean, I'm on game 3 of this, and I just think, you know, there's booing Rooney, but the same, I understand it's not good enough. However, when you've made 2 lots of journeys to Middlesbrough and Southampton, and he stood there, crosses his arms, no motivation, nothing, you've got to wonder, is he interested? And everybody around me were going, why isn't he animated? Why isn't he even when there was like water breaks, he didn't say anything to them. He walked back onto the bench and everyone was going, why is he doing that for? I thought we had spells. I thought we had 10 minutes when we started and 10 minutes after half time, which was the same against Hull. We just can't keep it going. And Longelo and Drama, I can't wait for Laird and Buchanan to come back, because every single goal came from the right being crossed in, and they're either behind Longelo or they're in front of him. So I think they need to be out the firing line as soon as possible. But, I mean, Southampton was a lovely ground. There was no trouble. So, you know, fair play to their fans. They were loud. When we scored, you know, you could feel everybody being like, come on, come on, come on. But you could just tell that they were Premier League quality. They passed it from the back and they were just a good team. And on to Ipswich we go.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, go on now.
Well done, Claire. You've said everything that I would have said. But I will. The only thing that I've come to the conclusion of is these 3 games we've been outmanaged. In each game, the opposition know that if we don't score, they're going to win. Right? Now, that was for the first 2 games. On Saturday, they worked out very quickly where the weaknesses were. And Drama in particular, I thought, was okay when he got the ball. But when he hadn't, they absolutely murdered him. And not only did one bloke murder him, they switched him around and they took one bloke off and brought another one on in the second half, and he run rings round. And it wasn't, you know, he was up against an opponent who he couldn't cope with. They probably put 3 blokes on him during the 90 minutes and he couldn't cope with any of them. Longelo as he just can't get off the floor. I mean, I thought back to a game, was it last year, when Luton won with a header, came across from the left. He jumped up, bloke behind him, bang, 1-0, game over. That is a glaring weakness. And any opposition manager who sent his scout out to watch us play the last 2 games before would have said, these 2, we got to get the ball wide as quick as possible and attack them. Now then, the only other thing that was a bit strange to me, other than the Stansfield that started, was the change at centre half. Now, I thought the kid played okay, Awu, but he's about 6 inches shorter than Long. And maybe if Long had been in the centre when some of these crosses came over, we'd have dealt with them better. I don't know. But nothing, you know, the kid didn't do anything on towards. He passed. He's a better footballer than Long, but whether he's a better defender than Long, I ain't so sure at the moment.
It's almost like pre-season, isn't it, all over again? And it's not pre-season at the end of the day; it's winter. And I think, you know, going back to last Wednesday's game, we started the game really well. I thought we was on the front foot and created a couple of half chances, and then Longelo goes and passes it to their player, and unfortunately, he goes through and scores, you know, and then after that goal, it just completely killed us, didn't it, really? And then, you know, overall, it's just, like I say, it's pre-season again. They're like, you know, Rooney's got to get to know the players, get to know the squad. I don't think he knew much about the squad before he came here, I'll be honest. I don't think he would have watched much of Birmingham City before he came here because, obviously, he's in America and, you know, there's a time difference and he's obviously the manager of where he was, DC United. So, you know, he's almost, you know, it's almost like he's coming to the job now and he needs like a couple of months before he even kicks a ball, you know, the team kicks a ball. So the timing of it is very bizarre. I think I said at the time when we sacked John Eustace that, you know, if they want to do that, fine. But I said at the time, didn't I, that I was a bit, you know, sort of baffled by their choice. Baffled's probably the wrong word. Surprised by their choice, you know, because he's just starting out, Rooney is really, as a manager. He's only 38 years old, 37, 38. And, you know, if we were going to sack John Eustace, then bring somebody in that's got a CV that shows where we want to be. You know, and unfortunately Rooney doesn't have that. But I like to think that, you know, I'm prepared to give him time, and I hope that he can turn this round and he can get better. Because I have seen glimpses in the last two games of what we can do, but you know, you do
he's
need
definitely better. Like, to be fair, I mean, it was 1 out of 10 against Middlesbrough. It probably went to about a 3 out of 10 for Hull, and it probably went to about a 4 out of 10 for. So it has got better generally, but it's. Sorry to, like, you know, interrupt, but when we were in the concourse at the start of the game, all it was like Rooney came on. Certain fans sang Rooney's name. Certain fans said words I'm not going to repeat. The problem is the whole of the crowd was divided. So some people were singing like Rooney, 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 and then some people were like, get lost. So that's the problem at the moment. He's totally split the crowd. So some people were like, well, you know, give him time. There's some people are like, we've lost 3 out of 3. Now, Ainsworth and that, you know, they've lost 6. He's lost 6 in a row and he's been sacked. Yeah. We've got Ipswich coming up, Sunderland coming up. Yeah. If he doesn't win those, we've lost 5. And all of a sudden we dropped like a stone. And that's going to be the problem. Have we got time to hopefully implement it? I can't see it.
Sorry, Claire. If Coventry beat the Albion tonight and Coventry are 20th, they'll go above us.
Yeah, but the league's so open. This is the thing, you know, one win and we're back not just into just over the halfway, but well into the top half of the table, you know. And I look at Saturday, and yes, there were improvements. Yes, there were mistakes. I think, Claire, you summed up exactly what I said on the radio afterwards, which is the goals came from the right and also couldn't be defended from the left. So basically, we had two defenders out of the depth, and they have been, unfortunately, for the past few games. However, they were okay in the games before, so there is a definite change in terms of the way that they play. But we've also got to remember, Saturday, the first goal was offside. Right? Yeah. And it'll be a subject we'll come on to in a bit, VAR in the Championship. But if it was there, it wouldn't have stood. No. The penalty. Not even the, you know, Sky Sports News were covering it, and they all turned around and went, how did he not give a penalty? And the ref that's on there said exactly the same thing. Stonewalled. Not just that, the ref missed it, but so did the linesman. It's just beyond me as to how that was missed. If you then put those two things into the equation, and yes, I'm banking on the fact we score a goal for the penalty, but we'd have walked away with a draw. And as the draw down in Southampton is a bloody good result at the moment based on their form and everything else. So I have seen improvements. There's still a hell of a lot more to go, and yes, Saturday is tough. As are any of the upcoming games. But you know what? It's typical of Birmingham to actually get that result the weekend.
Well, I'm to be honest, Craig, I'm sorry, Paul. I'm hoping for, like, it's almost like you have a period of short-term pain before you get the long-term gain. So yeah, it's going to be painful.
Everyone's rapping tonight, huh?
Everyone's rapping tonight, saying stuff that rhymes.
So your challenge has been set, Paul, before the show's out. We want to rhyme.
Can I just follow on? Sorry, Mark. Can I just follow on from that, though? I've been obviously listening to what we've said, and I agree with everything. But I think, in fairness to Drama, Longello, I've always said I don't think he's a left back, and I'm not changing my mind on that one. But I think as a right back, I think Craig hit the nail on the head when he said, the first couple of games he was very good, and everyone thought, you know what, Laird's not going to get back in the team. And then he's struggled a little bit. I think it's a class example of the two fullbacks are the two players that have found the change the hardest. I think, Rooney's come in and tried to change everything so quickly. And I think there's been too much information given to those two players in such a short space of time. So I think they're going out there with a bit of, I suppose, misunderstanding of where they should be at what part of the game. What their true job is. Now, as a defender, your true job is to defend, obviously, and get the ball out and whatever else. But they're getting so many mixed messages, I'm sure, which is surprising because, Ashley Cole was one of the better fullbacks in the country for years. So he should already know that, the defending is part and parcel of what their trade is. But I think the way Rooney spoke in the last couple of games on press conferences, everything has been about those fullbacks being high and almost being five strikers. And I think that's where they're finding it difficult. So I hope at some point they realize that they need to slow themselves down a little bit. It's baby steps more than anything. Yes, if he wants to change the team, he's going to change it. But it's baby steps right now, and we have to take that. And, going to Rooney, if I'd sat here right now and said, is he the right man? I'm still not 100% sure. Yes, I'm going to back him because he's the Birmingham manager. And at the end of the day, we back the club and the team that more than anything else. There's no player and no manager ever bigger than what Birmingham City is and never will be. So we continue to back that. I think John Eustace did an amazing job where he was, no disrespect to him, but a small name manager. And he came in and he changed a lot. He got the love of the fans. He got the love of the players, as you can tell. And he was very, very good at man management. I think Rooney comes in with a bit of arrogance to him. I think he's a little bit more like, look what I've done, look what I've won, look where I've been. You guys need to respect that straight away. And as the world works, that doesn't happen in any job. So I think Rooney needs to understand as well that he still has to gain the respect from the fans. He still has to gain respect from the players. And he can't go in there just thinking that everything's going to change overnight. So honestly, I think some of his sideline behaviors is frustration just as much as our frustration in the crowd. But he's a totally different manager than what Eustace is. And I think the fans have got to understand that we don't know what he does on the training ground. And I think maybe all of his communication comes away from the pitch. And when he gets to that 90 minutes, it's more on the players that are out there. Rightly or wrongly, then obviously that's another debate. But I think that's where it lies right now. And I think that Rooney just needs to understand that the fans want to see passion. They want to see passion from the manager as much as they want to see it from the players. Birmingham City is our heart, regardless of who you are and if you come in and whatever else. As I said to you guys on Facebook, if it doesn't work out and in the future, whenever that is, he gets sacked and somebody else comes in, then we all move forward, right? Mm-hmm. Rooney goes, we move on.
Yeah, I couldn't give a monkey's what he did as a player. I'll be honest. His record as a manager so far is poor. 100%. So he needs to sort it out, and because he does come across. I totally agree with what you just said there, Mark. He does come across a bit like that in his press conferences, doesn't he? After games and stuff. He singles.
It's on the pitch though, Paul. He goes back and talks to Cole and O'Shea, but have they had the coaching experience? I know that Ashley Cole was, in England, but that's not a day-to-day basis either. It's not. Do you know what I think it is? I don't think it's either being having defeats. We've been here before. It's the manner of the defeat that's the problem. It's all of a sudden, you've got somebody punching the badge. Yes, love this club. And even the players were like, yeah. And now they've kind of gone, oh. I mean, okay, he did come over and he did clap us for coming. I mean, I left at 90 because I had enough. But I just think you know, I totally agree with what you said. At the end of the day, he's not playing for Manchester United anymore. He's not playing for England anymore. Now that playing career's gone. He retired.
Yeah.
Now you're a coach. Now you're manager. You're actually a manager. You're not even a coach anymore. You are a manager of Birmingham City Football Club, who one of the biggest clubs in the country, which should be anyway. Second city.
Yeah.
You know, the owners want us to do really well and get back to Premier League. You've now got to start proving it. Actions speak louder than words. I've been saying this for a while, and at the moment, the words aren't coming out and the actions aren't either. And I think that's where we're all getting I think it was too high. Everybody was like, yeah, we're sixth, we're going to the Premier League, we're doing this. All of a sudden, we've all been brought back down to earth.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest, sorry, Paul, my biggest fear is that it will be another Zola stat, like 2 wins in 20. That is my biggest fear.
He doesn't know.
He's got the Zolas about it already.
Yeah, already.
Yeah. He doesn't know what's.
And I don't like throwing him under the bus, but it is heading that way at the moment.
Well, this is it. He doesn't really what's hitting him. If you think about his career so far, he played at Derby. He went there. He was captain at Derby after he was, one of the best players at Man United. So he went as a captain at Derby with a lot of hype. So he got to know the players as a teammate as well as a manager. So that was probably a little bit of an easier transition for him. He came over here to the States, and I can say, being at coaching in the States myself, if any sort of English guy comes over to the States and has an accent and says he knows about soccer, then you're respected for it, regardless of who you are and how good you are. It's just because that's the new sport in town, and this guy's coming in as one of the most famous English sports players ever, and he's coming into a country that is still growing and learning the trade. So I think he got the hero reception from the players and the fans there just from that. But now he's come into the back streets of Birmingham, where he doesn't realize what the fans are expecting. He doesn't realize what the players have had and expected. And I think he's probably finding it just as hard as everybody else is in regards to turn things around. There's two ways. I could say, don't give him a chance, get rid of him and let's move on. Or you could turn around and go, you know what, give the guy a chance. Give him at least until January to see what he goes out and buys. Let him settle down a little bit. And then let him prove to us if he's the right choice or if he isn't. Because you ask that question to me right now, there's no proof at all in 3 games to tell me if he's still right or wrong to be the manager of Birmingham City.
He's got a whole week as well. He's got a whole week now. Do you know what I mean? He's had 3 games within 1 week. So let's see what he can do, see what happens on the training pitch. But if he doesn't get better, the fans are going to start to say something, and you're going to split us even more.
On the fans front, sorry, Mark.
No, that's right.
The one thing I want to really cover off is, okay, Rooney's coming. His performances haven't been brilliant. Everybody is entitled to boo, as they did, and not everybody will agree with that. Others will say, yes, they deserved it. However, they're the 11 players on the field, so we've got to be there to back them, right? We back the team. We don't back the manager. We are fans of the team. But the one thing that absolutely disgusted me to high heaven was the behaviour of some fans towards our new owners and our new board. And, I'll say it as it is now, I was disgusted to hear that people hurled abuse at Gary Cook. People hurled abuse at Tom Wagner just because we've changed the manager. It's absolutely horrendous. And as far as I'm concerned, they are not fans. They are just people that have turned up for the sake of turning up. It's not right. Those people saved us as a club. I don't think, honestly, many people realise how close we were, not just to go to administration, but not to exist at all.
These people are working tirelessly as well behind the scenes.
Exactly, yeah.
They really are. And what they've done at St Andrews in, 3-4 months, it's unbelievable, really, isn't it? When you,
phenomenal.
I mean, the alliance...
Sorry, Paul.
Go on.
Can I ask this question to you guys now from me? And it may be, people might like this and might not like it, but if I'm sitting here and I'm thinking back, and if Eustace is still in charge, I feel we lose at Middlesbrough, we lose at Southampton, we probably get a better result against Hull. But that's where I sit, honestly, with Eustace as manager. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but that's what I think. You know, it's the performances more than the results, I think, is what, like Claire said, is what is getting everybody angry.
We would have had 3 better performances under John Eustace than we've had under Wayne. And this what angered me, and I mean angered, that it doesn't matter who the manager is coming in, and we've got a very inexperienced guy in charge. If we'd have had Alex Ferguson walking through the door, he would have had a problem of those 3 games being a bit more of a test than the Albion and Huddersfield proved to be, and would not have got necessarily the result we would have expected. But he would have got a performance out of them. Alex Ferguson would have got a performance out of them. John Eustace would have got a performance out of them. We haven't had one yet. We were a bit better on Saturday.
Second half.
With the ball. With the ball, we didn't look too bad. But without the ball, we looked shocking. And that's the reverse of the John Eustace philosophy. He used to talk about we kept our shape. We were good when we hadn't got the ball. Because we were. We defended properly. Yes, those 2 fullbacks are still the same 2 fullbacks as they were on Saturday. But we put people in front of them to protect them. And we didn't expect them to go bombarding up the pitch and not return for a fortnight. I mean, I sat on the side. I'm going, where's these fullbacks gone? You know, and there's blokes tearing past me. It's this blip. Let's call it a blip. Is inevitable. Whoever took over would have had a blip. Now, if we'd have had 2 points out of the 6, that would still have been a blip, but it would have been okay. We wouldn't have been moaning. So why do it? You know what? He's expecting to have a setback, and we've had 3 setbacks, and now we're just a mid-table side who are looking for a pattern and how to play and blah 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 blah. Whereas, like it or not, before that we were suddenly talking. I enjoyed watching the games. I enjoyed every match this year. I've enjoyed watching, win or lose, because we've got some good players in our side, and they are, you know, Dembele and Stansfield are good to watch. No,
Miyoshi as well, Alan. Miyoshi was playing well before Rooney came in. And been frozen up, isn't he?
Yeah, would you say it's the players? Would you put some ink on the players, considering that are they choosing this?
Well, I mean,
comfortable with it? Are they not comfortable with the way he's playing? Are they? You can tell.
Dion looks like a zombie at the back now. He was full of life under Eustace, and he looks.
But that can get better though with more training sessions in time.
Yeah, but whether, to be honest, Paul, whether that's a personal feeling, you know, from people like Sanderson, you know, it's only human to feel, you know, there's a boss you really like, you really respect, and now that person's out the door.
A week, is that a good enough excuse though?
No,
not really.
Would you be able to do that at work? Would you be able to go, there's somebody new, they're going to implement something, I'm not going to. I don't know, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I'm not going to play as well.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to perform as well because I liked him. But actually now this bloke's come in. But actually, you're still getting paid the same amount of money. The fans still support you. We still travel hundreds of miles and hours and hours and hours. Is it start, you know, is some of the blame on the players as well?
The fact that they've changed the manager is an indictment of the team, because the owners think that the team is not good enough. So we're blaming the manager, and we'll stick somebody else in. So how would you feel? You just won two very good results, and the powers that be think that's not good enough. You know,
the decision was made weeks before that, though. Sorry, Paul.
Well, whenever it was made, this is when it happened, and you've got players who straight away think, well, this manager liked me, this new manager won't like me, or may not like me. So that you've caused instability straight away. Whether it's a mass criticism of saying you're not good enough, that's one thing. But what it's definitely is destabilised what was going on. It was getting solid. It was getting, these two fullbacks that we know we've known have weaknesses, but the weaknesses were covered up by some good management. Now we've had nothing but bad management for it's only 3 weeks, but that has been exposed. And don't forget, on Saturday, the fullback from Leeds had played twice against Southampton last year. So it wasn't a new player to them. I said, there's that bloke from Leeds. We run rings around him last year. Right, get on with it.
He was at Luton, wasn't he? He was at Luton last season on loan, wasn't he? Played in the playoff final for Luton.
Yeah,
played at Wembley.
Yeah, okay, whatever. He was great. The same division as Southampton, wasn't he?
There's some great comments coming through on the show box.
Excellent.
And sorry to everybody, it's really busy again as we go through. So just a few that I've pulled out. So Paul Gill says Leeds were awful before Bielsa. He brought in 2 players that totally changed the way that they played as a team, and then they were a dominant force in the season afterwards. So do we think Rooney could do that? Scott Strange. If we'd have lost against all of these teams and Eustace had been sacked, and we'd then announced Rooney as the manager, do we all think that the fans' reaction would have been half as bad? The other one is these players, Don Kavanagh, these players who were playing 3 weeks ago were backed by their manager. Wonder how the players feel within the criticism dealing with a snap wholesale change in style. And that part, Dom, I think is absolutely spot on, because for me, we've changed the manager, but the manager has tried to change too many things too quickly.
Too soon.
And I think if he'd have just implemented even half of what he wants to do and maintain the stability in the other areas, I honestly do not think we'd be talking this way now and have got the results that we have had. I really do feel as though we'd have picked things up. And I think the way I sum it up is if we'd have taken John Eustace's defence and the way that they were staunch, the way that they were ultimately at times looked unbeatable in defence, and we'd have then mixed that with the going forwards and strategy of the, almost counter-attack that Rooney's brought so far, we'd be very happy as fans. And I'm open to what other people think on that one, but, it really is showing. And I think the other thing that's coming across on the message board is it's 3 games. 3 games and people are already calling for a manager to go. That's partly because the manager, for those people, was never wanted. Actually, as far as I'm concerned, do I think it was right to change it when we did? No, I was equally as disappointed as everybody else. But there's a new man in the dugout, and we've got to back him. More importantly, we've got to back the team. The negativity around the team has to stop. They're just doing what they've been told to do. Back then, if things don't turn around, then the club have to step in and do something about it. But at the moment, we've got to go with the decision that they've made. It's there, man. And I honestly think, had DC have not had, and Mark Meredith, this would be interesting, if DC had not got a clause holding him to them at the start of this season, do you think he'd have still been there? Or do you think, actually, given pre-season, he'd have been Birmingham manager?
I think he'd have been a manager pre-season for sure. I think that's the whole reason why we waited out is because of we didn't want to pay him out of his contract. There's been rumours of that, and it's something that I certainly truly believe and think it's probably the most sane answer to why it's been in the middle of a season. But yeah, I think he's already signed up with DC. DC's agreement was let's see what happens and let's get into the playoffs or not. I also think if they'd qualified for the playoffs, we wouldn't have seen him until after the playoffs either. So I think it fell on the doorstep of, right, he left on the Saturday, Eustace was sacked, fired, whatever he was, on Monday, and then Rooney was in the door Tuesday. The playoffs are going right now, and so they're on now for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So we may not have seen him until Christmas if they'd got in the playoffs. So, yeah, I honestly do. I think it was a lot of things to do with the contract. And I think that Eustace was already told that at the start of the season that once Rooney was out, then Rooney was coming in.
I think,
I believe that he was aware. Sorry, Paul.
Sorry, mate. It even took Klopp and Guardiola a season, didn't it? I remember sitting there watching Man City get hammered 4-0 at Everton when Guardiola first took over. I'm not saying he's going to be Klopp or Guardiola by any means. I'm just saying that there's a prime example that even the best of the best, need time.
Sorry, Paul. I mean, look at Sir Alex all those years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they've almost lynched him within the first 6 games, and all it took was a scrappy win in the FA Cup, and look what happened.
Yeah,
so I mean, I want Rooney to do well. I want him to stick 2 fingers up. Same as Scott Hogan, I want him to do well because it's our badge at the end of the day. I know it sounds corny, but I really want him to come good. But at the moment, it's there's a lot of work to do.
Another good example from Paul Hansen here. Look at Arteta at Arsenal as well.
Yeah.
But there's another one. So it's let's just be patient and see what happens in a bit of time because I don't think we're going to get relegated. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. If we can finish about sort of 14th, 13th this season, 15th or anything like that, that's still progress from last season in 17th. I know it's not what the owners want, but they'll probably accept a season of stability and then. We move on and kick on after that, and this January coming window, because it will be interesting to see what players he can attract here when we do get into transfer windows, because it will attract a better calibre of player than what, as well as John Eustace did, he will attract a better player than what John Eustace could, won't he?
And Jason Hughes just said, Michael Carrick lost the first 5 games at Borough, and now look at them.
I know. It just takes one win, and the players, might click in this system. The one thing I don't like is the rolling out from the keeper and tippy-tappy around the edge of the box.
I hate that.
I absolutely hate that with a passion. But as we get used to it, we're not doing it as much as what we were. I mean, I think we were doing it less on Saturday than what we were against Hull at home. So, Sorry, Claire, go on.
If we had Langham Buchanan at fullback, you wouldn't mind the tippy-tappy then, because you give the ball to Lang, and he will do something with it. He'll create something. He'll burst past 2 or 3 players, and Buchanan is a great passer of the ball.
I think
the 4 people we had on. Sorry?
I think the problem is you've got Laird, Buchanan. I mean, Anderson, I think, would do a job for him as well.
George Hall.
George Hall would do a job for him. Obviously, we're still waiting for them to come back. I can't wait for Laird to come back because he's my favourite player as well. But I generally think, I agree with you, Alan, I think he can burst past people, and I think Blues fans like him as well. I think Buchanan, he's a solid defender, and he probably could take on all the things because he's played under Rooney before. I just worry mainly in the middle because at the moment Billy is our linchpin, but he needs somebody next to him, I feel. So Sunjic and James, at one point I was like, we're playing 4-2-3-1, this is amazing. When they came forward, it was just Billy on his own and he was just getting run around, and then that's it. I don't think James played particularly well. And when you're bringing on the likes of Gary Gardner, no offence to him, and some others, that's who we struggled with before. Well, actually, when you bring on the Bakunas and the Ansons and, you got the Dembélés and that, they're better quality. So, of course, you're going to struggle.
This system and this style's crying out now for the 3 centre-backs, 5 across the midfield, and then you 2 forwards. I hate to say it, but I think it's just that's what it's crying out for, is to bring Long back in. For me, Laird's back now. It looks like he was on the bench the other day, so it looks like he could be back Saturday. Move Drenham over to left back and put Laird at right back, and strengthen that up a little bit, take Longelo out the fire. But I certainly think, and I would never say this because I hate 5 at the back, but I think right now what he's trying to do, that's what it's crying out for, unfortunately.
Jukic can't play up front on his own either.
No.
The goal was Ruddy launched it to Jukovic. Jukovic flicked it on. Stansfield scores. Jukovic, we were literally by 10 minutes, he had already turned the shirt a different colour because he has been sweating so much. And literally what happened was, so you got Jukovic was having to come back. All of their defence just moved into our half. That was it. Because they didn't have anybody going behind.
Can I ask everyone a question? When a club loses 3-1, forget our club for a minute, when other clubs lose 3-1 and they've scored a goal, do you think they post it on their social medias and over YouTube and all over social media, the one goal that they scored when they lose 3-1?
No.
No.
It's all about media, though, isn't it? It's all about getting traction.
Why did they?
I don't see the point in us posting Jay Stansfield goal on Saturday. Although it was a good goal, we lost the game 3-1. So what is the point in showing us that goal again? We lost 3-1.
Yeah.
Doesn't annoy.
But then you'd have the people say, "Why didn't you post the goal?" I think it's a no-win.
Why would you post
Mike Woods has made a...
Why would you post a goal when you've lost the game 3-1? It's like a boxer, like showing a replay of knocking somebody out, but he went on to lose. Well, not knocking somebody down, sorry, and he went on to lose the fight. A bit like the guy who Tyson Fury on Saturday. He's not replaying that knockdown there for us.
We haven't scored in 2 games, Paul, and it was the only thing that made us happy on Saturday.
It was a very, very good goal.
It was,
and
it's a Premiership goal, wasn't
it? The Jukovic flick on was tremendous, and the pace of the lad Stansfield burst past them and smashed it in the net. Terrific goal. Now, the problem is with a 35-year-old centre forward, and as lovely man as he is, he's going to do that about once every 5 games, if you're lucky. He's not going to do it continually during a game. And it all gets down to statistics in the end. How many, I ignore possession. Whatever we had on Saturday, we did okay with. And we had as many shots on goal as them. Not as many on target, but as in our 29% possession, we did as much attacking as they did in whatever the difference is, 71%. And it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, they scored 3 times. We scored once.
Yeah.
Our goal was the best of the 4, but you don't get any points. It's not ice skating. It ain't how good you look. It's how good you are.
Yeah.
And that's it. I could sit and watch that goal. I'll switch this off when we finished, and I'll put that goal on just to watch it over and over again because it was thrilling.
Yeah.
But that's it. You're right. We lost.
Well, I'm not saying don't show the goal out on the highlights of the game. Show the highlights of the game, but I'm just saying don't have one big special post for one goal that we scored when we lost 3-1. That's all I'm saying.
What
do you say, Claire?
I do get what you mean, though. It's like I think it's just a bit. It's taking the positive. I think that's what they're trying to do is show we scored. That's a positive thing. I don't know, but I'm guessing, out of all the negativity that's around, look, we did score under Rooney, his first goal. But it is a media circus. Like, literally, all you could see around the team on Saturday was a camera. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the message board, Chris, YouTube's been absolutely mental as well.
But crazy,
even to Richard Hayler. There's a couple of areas for discussion here. So Daniel Roon said, do we think Dixon will start on Saturday? I think he's earned a chance, but I don't think he'll start.
No, can't see him starting
on the bench.
I think the lad Donovan's got more of a chance.
Yes,
I'd have Dixon on the bench though. I'd have him if ever Yuki couldn't play.
Yeah, definitely have him on the bench.
Donovan wasn't in the squad Saturday, was he?
No. Was he on the bench?
No, he wasn't.
No.
I, before we came on in, I was watching the Access Blues thing, and they show all the shirts hanging up, and Donovan's was hanging up, but he never made an appearance. You know, the other youngster was in the squad, but Donovan played the other night. He come on, and okay, it was a futile in the end, but he did show a couple of touches. So why wasn't he at least in the squad? It doesn't make any sense, you know. But then again, we were going to leave Stansfield out. Why put a 16-year-old kid in the squad when you've got, you know, your best goal scorer sitting on the bench? It's just another one of those. What are you doing, Wayne? I mean, explain that to us. And he doesn't. You know, nobody asks him. Nobody says, why did you do this? Why did you think that was necessary?
At least we had a good night Friday, though, I guess, didn't we? We'll move on to that.
Yeah. So Mr. Hip Kiss. Wow. So ladies and gents, on Friday evening we had our EA promotions night with 5 of the 2001 squad at St Andrews, where our very own Mr. Hip Kiss was the compere, and I think it's fair to say at one point he was shaking, but by the time he got to the seat, he took over and had total control. Whether that was the amount of alcohol he consumed beforehand or just pure confidence, I'm not too sure. But it was a great night for everyone. Some really good stories, and I will say, you know, the lads that were up on the stage have all said as well at some point or other they'd like to come back on the show. So we will be getting them back on board and talking to us. But great night, well done by all, but especially Paul. You know, superb, mate. Well done. You know, you did really well.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I wanted to make it a bit different, you know, and I thought the slides worked really well, didn't they? Obviously, as we were going across each, because that helped me as well, because it just helped me stay on subject, and you know, I didn't want it going off on a tangent, and also I wanted to get the audience involved, which we did, and you know, I wanted to make it fun as well, which we did with the obviously the kick-ups competition, and which Marcelo won, didn't he, with 27, and and we did a Who as well, didn't we? A live Who as well. We did 5 of them, and they got all players.
Skip. Wow, Skip's knowledge of those Who was absolutely unreal. We think Paul's the savant, but Skip definitely took the lead.
Yeah. It was a pleasure as well to be joined by Jeremy Dale and Mike Wiseman, and great to see Roy the photographer, Roy Smiljanich, looking great as well now, and Ian Dutton as well was there with his brother, wasn't he? So overall it was a great night. I'm not going to lie, I was a bit nervous all day leading up to it, but once I got there and I got chatting away to people, I was fine. That was it. I was away.
The pictures and that are really good as well. So fair play to Lindsay as well. She did great job on the pictures.
Yeah, and food, I didn't eat much of the food, but it looked nice. Was the food nice?
It was lovely. Yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah.
Mark ate loads, didn't you, Mark? You really enjoyed your chicken.
I got a week's worth. I still got some in my dressing gown pocket.
You little tinker.
He was looking for the gruel, so we got really disappointed when he got up the front and saw proper food.
I was just relieved that Craig arranged to meet me where he said he would, because you know, he said he wouldn't meet me, but he did in the end. Fair play to him. He actually treats me like human.
No, I just felt sorry for you. That's what it was. But on that point, you know, there's some interesting things, you know, were discussed on the night, and I think there was a lot of mixed topics as well. So this was the other thing. It was good and very open, very honest. You know, Mike talked about the time with Trevor Francis. Ian spoke about the future of the club and also his time at the actual final and the games. So it was really good to hear how things are going forward. You know, I was asked a really interesting question on the night, and actually I'll be interested in people's thoughts on this as well, which is we had 5 people up the front who, for us, were not only, you know, loving the fact that they played for the club and were fans' favourites, but they loved the club as well, and that shone through like mad on the night with their stories. So, open up on the message board here. You know, if you were looking over the past 30 years, which players did you love as fans, but also do you believe loved the club as well? And you know, I came out of a barrel load, but to me, actually, they were very recent. I couldn't really go back too far, but I had people like Liam Daesh, and his love of the club. Jude Bellingham, you know, I know he's one of the recent ones, but
God, you mentioned that name, Craig. Did you see his first goal in the Classico on Saturday?
Oh, it's unreal.
Yes,
Absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
And then we've got Granger, we've got Skip, Jerry Gillu was there. They're all not just players, but they love the club. So, what are people's thoughts on that? Who would you have in there? And
Hoppy,
if you could list
Hoppy. Got to be Hoppy.
Chris,
Nick, what do you make of all this anyway, mate? What are your thoughts, Nick, about obviously the Rooney?
For me personally, well, we were 6th in the league and we're not no more. So that's all I'm going to say on that at the minute. I've had people lauding Mr. Rooney when he first came in, and I said, look, names don't win games. The proof's in the pudding, right? The pudding's been served. We've just lost 9 points. Where could we have been with those 9 points? And that makes me angry. And I know you say a lot about X, Y, Z lost 5 games, and say, I'm not interested in Middlesbrough. I'm not interested in any other football club apart from Birmingham City, right? I'm not remotely interested in what anybody else has or hasn't done. Yes, there's been some amazing improvements at St Andrews since these guys have come in, and I don't think this managerial change is one of them. Sorry.
We'll see what Friday night as well, just going back. But, you know, I've been to many Q&A sessions with players of past. And this was just a little bit different. I think, you know, Paul, like you said, it was more interactive. Rach did a great job of getting the right, I think, audience and balance together on the night as well. And the other thing is really the sheer fact that everybody was there for love of the club, but also the people that were on board. So, you know, huge kudos there to Rach and the team at EA for coming out and getting that first one over the board the way that they did. And hopefully there's many more to come. And you never know, Mr. Hibkiss, it could be a little pocket for a retirement fund for you in the future, mate.
Yeah.
We will see. There's some other bloke called Dennis as well, isn't there, that runs it as well as Ray.
Don't worry about him.
Yeah. We don't talk about Dennis, but no, I mean the other thing is
he's just a T-boy anyway.
He was shady.
Not very good at that either.
He wasn't Slim Shady, though.
No, definitely wasn't Slim Shady. Oh, God, me.
There's some great names that are coming through on the message board since I put that out there. So we've got Horsfield's come up on many occasions. AJ, Stevie Claridge, John Frame, Carol Sunderland. She's named Brian Hughes, Martin Granger, and Paul Tate.
No one said Paul Devlin yet.
Do you know, Devs has come up on a couple of occasions, yes, as has Michael Johnson. I'm also seeing, which is probably going to be mixed with our fans, but Robbie Savage there. So, you know, it's interesting to see Robbie coming up.
Would you say Clinton Morrison? Because, you know, whenever he's on Sky, the other day they put him on the game, and he was absolutely. I was like, why did they do that to him? And you could tell he was trying really hard to be neutral. But I was like, oh no, Clinton Morrison I would put on there too.
Oh, Claire, stay there. Well, I've just read this about you, saying how lovely Claire is. Isn't Claire lovely? This is on YouTube. Me and Claire are friends on Facebook.
Mrs. Jay Giblin by any chance?
I was going to say, is it Jay Giblin?
it says she's finally found Jesus.
Oh, have I?
Apparently, yeah.
I see.
I didn't know he was missing.
Is that because I got the halo above my
No,
head?
I think that's his name, Jesus something.
Pete Taylor.
Jesus baby, I think. I can't remember.
Pete Taylor made me laugh earlier. He said, "How come Claire looks like she's about to have a haircut?"
Clinton's come up more since you've mentioned that as well, Claire. But as has
Look out for Sal.
Yeah.
Look out for Sal's on there. But the standout name so far is Stan Lazaridis.
Stan.
Really?
Yeah.
So what about Craig Gardner?
That surprises me.
Craig Gardner. What about Jose Dominguez?
Craig Gardner hasn't come up once. Jose's been on there. Lilypad, great shout with Ricky Otto, Kevin Francis. Mark Ward, for me, would probably be more of a lover of West Ham than he
West Ham.
Yeah, definitely West
I'll tell you
Ham.
another one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another one. And he didn't make many appearances for us, but my God, I walked when we went to the Players Awards last season. I walked from the ICC round to the cocktail bar with him because I've known him anyway, and he just told me how much it meant to him to put that blue shirt on, and that was Marcos Painter.
Marcus Painter, yeah, cool.
Ian Clarkson as well. Huh?
Yeah.
Matt Sadler.
Clark,
Matt Sadler as
Yeah,
well.
of course, yeah, Clarky. Wow.
Any Blues
Blues
fan,
yeah.
fan putting that shirt on, it's got to be different from
Yeah.
anyone else, hasn't it? Really, when you're a fan of the club before you played for it.
Yeah, I mean, how many of those that mentioned are actually or were fans of the club?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
not
lot
that
actually
many.
when you go through these that wouldn't have been fans of the club. And Malcolm Page has come up as well. Many occasions now, Malcolm Page is showing on the board. But I think he is just somebody that he has shown his passion afterwards. The support that he puts towards the ex-players association and putting in the work with Tom Ross is immense on that front. So it's a proper mixture of names.
Trevor as well, right? You gotta have Trevor in there as well.
Would you say Barry Fry? I know he likes Peterborough, but whenever we go down,
Oh yeah, he winds them up by singing to Kieran, doesn't he?
Anyone said Martin O'Connor as well?
Yeah.
On there,
He does love Walsall though.
He does. No, he does. That's
Yeah,
his
he does,
club,
yeah.
ain't he?
Yeah,
But
he does,
he
yeah.
loves the Blues as well. You
Yeah.
can tell that on Friday.
Well, what about Max?
He loves them more.
oh my God,
Yeah. But anyway, Craig, have you got
Tony
squad
Coton.
number down for us this week?
I have got a squad game, and you'll be pleased to know that I haven't got a fact that wasn't a fact that didn't turn out to be a fact if it was going to be a fact.
God.
So
I can't wait for this.
I've stayed away from that one. But the season that I've got the squad for is 2010 to 2011.
Okay.
So one that we all should remember very well indeed. And the squad number is number 17 that I'm putting out there. So squad number 17 was again used more than once during the season.
Well, I know one player that was wearing it. Straight away. Obafemi Martins.
Martin,
Yep.
yeah.
Is the giveaway. So
Michelle was the other one. Michelle, everyone would call him.
Oh, you've ruined it already.
Sorry.
that was squad games. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was a great game. Okay, see you next week.
You're the most famous squad we've ever had.
I know. What are the rules this week anyway, Craig?
They are just to stay quiet if you're on the board.
Okay.
There is one other number.
Redmond.
Number 11. No, number 11 for that season. Again, 2 players played number 11 during that season. Who were they?
McSheffrey.
Fahy.
No and no.
McSheffrey.
McSheffrey, no.
Bentley.
Bentley's
one of them.
Bentley, yeah.
You robbed that mark off me.
Hey? I bloody haven't.
What's that blasphemy we heard?
Sorry.
Strong for Coventry, that is. You've just earned yourself another 6 months inside, mate. So, there's one more number 11.
It's not Bozajor, was it?
No, it wasn't Bozajor.
Gary O'Connor.
Gary O'Connor.
Meredith's killing the game again.
I know, yeah.
It's him, Chris.
You keep forgetting that he was there hanging the shirts up, wasn't he?
That's the point. He was there.
I printed the shirt.
I bet he was sniffing them as well.
Yeah, I wanted to ask as well. I've been watching Match of the Day Top 10 on BBC iPlayer. I love it, I do. I love that.
It's brilliant, that is.
A good football podcast as well as this one, and the rest of his football is really good as well with Gary Lineker and Shearer and Micah Richards. But I was watching Match of the Day Top 10 earlier, and I was thinking, I wonder what ours is on that. And they were basically discussing about the best assists of all time, and this is only a thing that's come into the modern game, but any memorable Blues assists?
Oh, crikey. See, it wasn't a thing, was it? It wasn't a thing up until about 15 years ago.
Ricky Otto for Tate's header.
Yeah. I'll tell you another one. Do you remember when Browne Hughes got his second against Leeds when we beat them 4-1 in the Premier League?
Oh, yeah.
I love the way Lazaridis did that reverse pass to him for his second one.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously Danny Sonner, which we spoke about on Friday night against Ipswich.
Yeah, for through ball. What about, sorry, Paul, what about Jeff Kenner's cross at Villa Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say, you won't beat John Gale's overhead kick at Wembley, 91.
That was it.
That was a goal, though.
Overson's header, wasn't it?
Yeah, Overson's flick on for that, wasn't it?
Overson, Vince Overson.
Just go back to that.
Sorry, are we talking about headers now?
No.
Assists.
We're talking about assists,
Oh,
Nick.
somebody kick him, will they? Give him a good kicking.
On that 2000 Pennant, yes.
Jermaine Pennant on his debut when it crossed the
And the Arne, yeah. For Walter, yeah. That header. That was against Southampton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
On that 2010-2011 season,
Are we still
he
playing
was
that?
top goal scorer.
Ooh.
For that season?
Yeah.
Was it?
Wasn't Zigic, was it?
Big Zig.
Femi come on for?
Was it Craig Gardner? Craig Gardner, wasn't it?
From midfield? Yeah, it could have been, yeah.
Hibkiss is, between Hibkiss and Meredith, we've got to ban them from this game, Chris. They're just killing it. Okay, then, so it was Craig Gardner, but how many did he score in the league and how many did he score in total then?
I'll go for, because he was taking pens, when I'll go for 6 in the league and 9 throughout the whole season.
No, I'm not.
8 in the league, 11.
I'll say 10.
He scored 5 in the league and he scored 3 in the cup.
Yeah, 7 in. Was it 5 or 7 in the league?
Are you including penalties in shootouts?
No, these are just straightforward goals, league and total.
So he scored at Tottenham. I remember him scoring at Tottenham away, and I remember him scoring home to Sunderland as well. And he got two against Blackburn as well, didn't he? When Foster saved the penalty.
Yeah. So I can tell you that Claire got one of them. So Claire got one of them with 8.
So we got 8 in the league and 2 in the cup.
So come on, Mark. What's the maths?
12.
Get your toes out, mate. Mark, get your toes out.
Sorry, Mrs. Giblin, can I have a bit of help?
I'm Miss. I'm not married.
Miss.
Oh, so I mean, Miss, I'll get
Oh, for God's sake. He's in trouble again.
That's a yellow card, that is.
Yeah, so I can confirm it was 8 in the league, but in total it was 10 across the season. And yes, Craig Gardner was the top goal scorer.
That shows how bad we were, wasn't it? And we got relegated. No wonder.
And then the top 5 managers were on number 3 this week,
We
aren't
are,
we?
yes.
So we've had number 5 was Terry Cooper, wasn't he?
With Barry Fry.
And
Barry Fry was number 4.
So we want number 3 now. So put your votes in for number 3, please, everybody. And
McLeish for winning the cup.
I want to put Trevor out there as my number 3.
Yeah.
If you put Trevor, I want to know who's number 1.
Is McLeish not number 1?
McLeish is number 1, I would have
No,
thought.
because he went over to them. I can't ever forgive him for that.
Yeah, but he had our highest ever Premier League finish. And
He's got to be 1. I'm going Francis as well. I'm going to be
Yeah. I think I'm with you there, Francis. Yeah.
Francis was one of those, and actually it was summed up beautifully on Friday night. that he was the most unlucky manager when it came to, getting anywhere. And actually, arguably, it was his squad that got us promoted.
Yeah. Yeah, well, how many players in that team against Norwich did he not sign? Obviously, we'll go with Tebley. I know Tebley didn't sign, or did he sign Steve Vickers? He didn't, did he?
No, he didn't.
So we had Stern John, Steve Vickers, and Tebley in the team, didn't we? That he didn't sign. I think everybody else he did sign.
Was one, yeah.
We always deserved that Worthington Cup as well, wouldn't we? You look back at it and you just that penalty decision still makes you sick. But even in the whole game, we just deserved to win that day.
Couldn't possibly repeat what Skip called the ref.
Before somebody corrects me, he didn't sign Paul Devlin either, did he?
No. Oh no, yeah, Brucey signed him, didn't he?
Yeah, and he didn't sign Jeff Kenner either, did he?
Kenner. Maybe there's a few there.
Actually, wasn't there a midfielder that Bruce brought in as well that wasn't signed by Francis?
That was Tebley. Tebley started in the middle, didn't he, with Brian Hughes, who Trevor did sign. Mooney was on the left, who Trevor did sign. Horse was up front with Stern John. Obviously, Horse Trevor did sign. Granger. To be fair, you can't have Granger, can you? Because he didn't sign Granger either.
No. Or can I just quickly go to the greatest ever assist?
Yeah.
Malberg for Enkelman. I thank you. Well done, Benji Smith.
Hands down.
Gotta be the winner.
Yeah. No, that's got to be up there, isn't it?
Yeah. He did it again, didn't he? He did it again at Villa Park as well, when he headed it back and the Hawks went in.
Yeah.
2 in one season. Got me bad.
Just going back to squad players. How many of Bowyer's team played on Saturday?
Blimey.
Nearly half.
Is that right?
Really?
Yeah. Don't ask me to go through them, but yeah.
So he signed Sanderson, didn't he, on loan originally?
James.
Ruddy.
Nah.
No, that was Eustace's one of his first one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jukovic would have been Bowyer's, wouldn't he?
Not
No, but he would have been in his team, wouldn't he?
Yeah, in the team with him, I mean,
average. That's the case as well.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Tunich, yeah.
Interesting.
What do we reckon anyway? We might as well do the predictions now for Saturday against Ipswich at home.
Okay.
2-0 defeat, Claire.
I can't. With the way Ipswich are playing at the moment,
Garcia's winning.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's like 1-1, but I can't see us beating them.
No.
I'm going to say blind. I'm going to say blind faith 0-0.
No, blind faith.
I don't know why.
0-0.
A goalless draw.
That'd be a good result.
I'm going 1-0 Blues, man. I'm going to be positive.
I was also going to say 1-0 Blues. I think at some point the tide has to turn, and this could be a great opportunity.
I hope so.
I don't know whether anybody saw my blog from yesterday, but in it, I said to Mr. Rooney, this is your day, because if you're ever going to be taken seriously, this is the day to do it. Everybody is look at a row of faces nearly on the floor. This is the day. This is the day that you prove what you can do.
Alan, I'm sorry, but I think his first game in charge was the day.
Well, we've gone past that. Yeah. This is the day when he has to do something, and it's his most difficult task to date. So this is why it will be the day. But and I'm going to go for 2-0.
With greatest respect, yeah. That first game in charge, that should have been it.
I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, but I can't at the moment see past it. So, what do you reckon, Mark Meredith?
Hang on, Claire, I reckon you should take that headband off your arm, because you'll restrict your blood flow to your fingers and you'll die.
My hair bubble. Okay. I'll still pick it.
Go on, Mark.
Go on,
Go on, Mark.
Go on, Mark.
What do you say?
What was we saying?
What was prediction?
Your prediction.
Yeah.
Your prediction.
We're still
7-0.
playing. He's still playing Craig's game.
Just say 7-0.
Gary O'Connor. No, I'm going to go 1-1. 1-1.
Okay. Somebody's got to give somewhere. We can't get beat every single game.
Gonna have to win a game.
I've just got a feeling that the longer he gets with the players,
yeah.
You got the likes of Ashley Cole on the training ground and John O'Shea and players that have played the game at the top level, and obviously Rooney himself. I know that names don't win games, as you would say, Nick, but at the end of the day, I'd like to think that they can start to adjust the way.
People here that don't even support Birmingham City are telling me that even the players don't want to play for him.
Nick, I'm not too sure how people could.
All I'm saying, Craig, all I'm saying is what other people are saying, yeah?
Yeah, but you know what? Part of that is people jumping on a bandwagon. I don't condone this one little bit. I think it's absolutely stupid, right? But it made me laugh. The sheer fact that a certain team the other side of the city were singing his name on Sunday, right? Now, I ain't being funny. He's coming to the club. He's lost 3 games. They're singing his name. What?
Yeah.
That's promoting Birmingham City on television and across the Premier League.
Not in a good way though, Craig. Not in a good way.
In a negative way.
And we would do exactly the same.
Oh, I don't know if we would.
We would.
I would.
Of course we would. Of course we would.
But on the opposite side, I don't care what other people say. You know what I mean? I just want. I want to see.
You've got to take on board, though, Craig, what other people say, because it's footballers' opinions. Yeah.
And opinions counts.
Hang on. We sit down. It's predominantly Stoke and Derby round here, right? Not so much Derby, more Stoke, right? And they just won 3 on the trot, haven't they?
Stoke have, yeah. Was it 2? I think.
I don't know. Is it me? Am I just frustrated? I don't know. We were 6th, and that's all I think about.
So realistically, how many games? I mean, if he goes 5 games, when do we start to worry?
They brought him in. They brought him in at a really not a really bad time. Well, yeah, really bad time.
Sorry, Paul. Everybody was saying they brought him in at the right time because he'd got 2 weeks. Yeah. Everybody a few weeks ago, and it was on this show, was saying we bought him at the right time because he's got 2 weeks to mould these players together.
He never had 2 weeks.
Yeah, but he didn't take that 2 weeks. He had 4 days before the first game when he actually appeared on the training ground for real. Don't have any photograph taken. That was the reality of it. And Ashley Cole didn't arrive till the Thursday before the game.
Yeah.
It's his first solid week without no interruptions. A solid get their heads down.
This is it, guys. Right? Listen to this, and this is really important. Is that earlier you said that Eustace knew that Rooney was coming in, and if Eustace knew that Rooney was coming in, that man had got us to 6 in the table, kid. Under the stress of
that man also put himself out there for the next position that was coming along. You know, any manager, any person in their right minds would want to do 2 things if they were in that position. That is, you'd want to prove people wrong, right? I am a person that can go and do this job. And then also, you want to put yourself in the shop window for the next job that becomes available. So if, and it's a big if, Eustace knew that things were afoot and change were afoot, right, then huge kudos to that guy for what he did. However, he's not there anymore. So, right, come Saturday, we get a result. How many people are going to be talking the same way? No.
Craig, I don't know. I think it's just all born out of complete and utter frustration that we've had 11 years of misery. Right, we've had half our ground shut down. The place has fallen to bits, and then all of a sudden we get this glimmer of hope, and it rises like the phoenix from the ashes, and then that has now turned into this. Look, I so want it to turn around. I promise, I really do. I promise you, I really, really, really do. And there is nothing I would love to see more than the current people who have not only ownership but also managers and going forward and progressing to the Premier League, winning trophies for Birmingham City.
We've got a much nicer bus now than what we had, but the driver's unproven at the end of the day.
Almost two. It's fine. We'll get there. There we go.
Everything is rosy.
The bus that we've got now has got nice alloys on it. It's got posh interior. Everything's really nice.
Yeah.
But the driver's unproven, so we've got to give
We've got a nice trophy cabinet in the reception. It's not just one that they bought from IKEA, and they've got purple lighting.
Yeah.
But Claire,
there's no toilet on that coach, by the way.
Come from IKEA, there would be screws missing. Look, I promise you.
Yeah, but now we've got a whole front entrance to be proud
I get it, Claire. I do get it. I don't think it's just frustration, mate. I really do.
That's it.
Well, Claire, I really hope, I promise you, Stab, I really, really, really hope we can come and do this again next Monday with a win under our belts.
Yeah, so do we all.
Well, let's try and be positive. I mean, 18 months ago, the bus was on bricks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No,
well, we couldn't afford the bricks, Paul, so no, we weren't on bricks.
Stolen put down
Talking about Liverpool.
Could we afford bricks 18 months ago?
Yeah.
We've got Wi-Fi on this one.
We've reached that time of the evening. In fact, we're 3 minutes into that time of the evening. So, Paul, go on, tell us what the last 15 is. Or last 12.
So this week's last 12 is anything to do with music artists or bands and football.
So it's not music; it's the artist.
Yeah, songs. I don't want songs. I only want artists or bands. I'll start us off with ZZ Top.
Ed Sheeran.
You've been waiting all day for that.
I've been waiting all day
All
to say that.
day. Well done.
I've got one.
Lots of chocolate.
Let's put the mute button on. Go on.
I've got one. Moyes to men. David Moyes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's really good.
I reckon the Backstreet Boys would have been better.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better.
Declan Rice girls.
That's a big crack, to be honest.
Yeah, you heard the reaction to that, Mr. Meredith, didn't you?
And here's one for Nick Spall, the chairman, and Chris Browne. But how about we have Stephen Carpenters?
What about
before my time, Craig? Before my time.
Adele Adibola.
No. I'm sorry, Paul. I hate your Savannah's, but you're winning at the minute.
I've stolen
What about? Sorry, who's next?
Hey, Nick, can we have Jota chocolate?
You can have what you want.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one. Zigic Stardust.
Hot chocolate. It's got to be hot chocolate.
That's a song now, isn't it?
No, it's not really, no. No, it's
Chris,
not.
I'm deaf. What was the Zigic one?
Zigic Stardust. It was David Bowie's alter ego.
Quite like that. That's
I've got another one. Deli Abba Bowler.
Thank you to Mummy Giblin. So, Mummy Giblin, well done if you are listening.
What about Obafemi House Martins?
Yeah, I like that one. I do like that one.
That might have been yours, Mark Adam. That's not yours.
Sorry, Paul. I got Mark in the lead now.
Rolling John Stones.
On YouTube, we've got Kevin Prince boating, Adam Stanfield's on the ants.
What?
Facebook's going mental, but Paul Gill's gone with a double-barreled one here by saying Savage and Gardener.
Oh,
wow. Oh, God. Blimey, no.
Savage Gardner.
That's a very good one.
Way too thinking too much.
Very good. Oh, wrong one. Very clever.
S Club 7 points dropped.
Nigel Mann's winning.
Tony M.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Chuck Berry FC.
Dom Kavanagh has said check and do zone.
What was yours, Al?
Chuck Berry FC.
Berry.
Chuck
yes,
Berry.
Yeah, very clearly. Only a few of us will understand this one. Blues appointment of Rooney. Aha. That's got to be a winner, hasn't it? It's got to be. Oh, I thought it was quite good, actually. St Andrew's House of Pain.
House of yeah.
Well, you know.
Alley.
What you say, Claire?
Adele Alley.
Adele.
Dele Alli.
Adele.
Adele Alley.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Just like Blues fans at the moment, or from what I'm gauging, the Moody Blues.
Womack and Cusack.
Oh dear.
The only wine he's up.
That's a song.
Here's
That's
a good.
song.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, that's a yellow card.
Here's a good one. Here's a good one. Led Devlin.
Oh, that's a good one.
Clever, isn't it? Very clever. Ceylon.
Both Dudley
Oh, we've
Town.
said that one, yeah.
What's that? Alan?
Brett Stanley, The Who.
Richard Wright said Fred.
Oh,
Richard Wright said Fred.
off
Could
grid.
you have Jess Glynn Klopp? As in Jess Glynn.
Well, you can if you want to, but it's not very good.
Yeah, I lost interest halfway through that one.
Who?
Not right, Rose. Stern John Lennon.
Then John Lennon.
Fleetwood McAllister.
Yeah, very clever. Diego Madonna. Diego
Oh, I've got
Madonna.
one. I've got one. What about?
That was
What about?
brilliant. Well done, off
What
grid.
about? What about Lalana? Lalana Rama.
Lennon Rama, yeah.
The Gary Monkeys.
Gary Monkeys, yeah.
Wayne Mannix has said Julie St Andrews.
Could you have Boys to Manny Langello?
No,
No, can't have that
No.
one.
Okay.
no, definitely not. That's definite. Wah, 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 wah.
Blink 182, Villa Nil.
Yeah,
Got that.
that was a good one.
I'm struggling now.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I
always
thought that
afterwards you remember them, don't you, for about a week?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good job we do the last 15 continued now, isn't it?
Yeah. 15 days.
Nick's had enough and walked out.
I know, yeah.
Nick's gone.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I needed a wee.
Oh, right. Get a bucket for
Lily said
Gondo.
Clinton Morrissey.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Mark Brooks has gone with Manny ELO.
Very good.
Very good.
Sol La Bamba.
Alabama, yeah.
Pete Taylor's gone with
Hang on.
Mike.
Sorry,
the
can I
Mechanics.
just take you back a little bit there, Craig? La Bamba is not a group.
No, it's a song.
That is
So
correct.
you are eliminated.
Yeah. It ain't very good.
Yeah, Michael Woods has said back in the day we'd have said Maroon 5, Villa Nil.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Jason Hughes, Craig Shakespeare's sister.
That's good, that is. I like that.
Wish him a speedy recovery as well. He's been been diagnosed lately, hasn't he? Sadly, with hate saying the word.
You got to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eurovision Song Contest.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a band.
Ray Hobro has said, how about the Ramones instead of Ramones?
Remind. What about the Kevin Nolans?
You're on form tonight, you are, Adams, I'm telling you.
You so
It's
happy.
probably- No, you know why? Because I've actually got human contact. It's my one night of human contact.
I'm sorry, Mark. You should be made to walk the ring roads of Coventry now for the next 4 hours.
I do looking for friends, but it don't work.
All the score lines are coming out. We've got Carol Sandlin with UB40, Villa Nil.
Pink Floyd
Who's the big
Afro.
winner?
I like this one from James Browne. Long Yellow.
Long kit, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Clever.
And James Browne was a good singer as well.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Benji Smith has gone with Diana Ross Barkley.
Where did this get on from?
Mark Brooks, the Kaiser Clifton Belt.
Yeah.
Joe Gallagher's High Flying Birds. Good
Hang
one.
on.
Good
In the midst of all this, who's people's third favourite ever manager?
Okay. There was a few there. Jim Smith came up a couple of times.
Jim Smith has
Gotta be
actually
good, isn't it?
he's heading the roots with that at the moment.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Gil Merrick, he only got us to three finals, one of which we've won.
Yeah.
And talking of Jerry's, Jason Hughes has gone with Jerry Gill and the Pacemakers.
I like that one. Yeah, very good.
That's a good one.
Harry Gill got a bad heart then.
Never walk alone.
I'm going to go for the Bay Birmingham City Rollers.
Yeah. Harry Kanick Jr. Harry
Kanick Jr., yeah.
There we go.
Least votes in there for Jim Smith at the moment, so definitely well in the lead on that one.
Steve Bruce has come up with a
couple
couple of times as well.
And I really don't want to say this, Brian Little Lever.
There's only a couple of us, probably you and
I'm quiet now.
I hate myself now.
I don't remember that one at all. Yeah,
we have the Stevie BGs.
Stevie BGs.
Stevie, yeah.
Who?
Lily Pad, the Shitu pistol.
Doesn't it? That's just not. That's funny, but not.
It doesn't really.
No, it doesn't. No. Well done.
Greg Barlow has said Robbie, Chris Bart Williams.
Fleetwood Mac, Alistair.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Simply.
Lily Pad's on form, man.
Yeah.
Simply Redmond.
Yeah, came up, went down. Yeah.
Right. You have Calvin Clark Harris.
Yeah, I like that one, Claire.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah,
Calvin.
yeah.
Can't beat a bit of Calvin, can you?
Michael Woods could be winning it with Cliff Richard Kingston.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, I quite like Right Said Dev.
I still got UB40 0-0. That's the best one so far for me.
Or Jason Hughes with Dexy's Midnight Gunners.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's
Actually,
Oh, that's good from Mark Brooks. He's thinking, Danny, Sonner and Share.
That's class.
Very good. Oh, crikey.
With Lisa Stansfield.
It's 9 o'clock, Nicholas.
It is 9 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
Oh, it's 8
No.
o'clock. Get yourself sorted
I
out.
keep telling you, in Solihull,
Clock back an hour, Chris.
we're an hour in front in Solihull. I keep trying to tell
We're
you.
actually only 5 hours. We're only actually 5 hours behind you guys.
Okay, Nick.
So there you go. The clock's gone back this weekend, ladies and gents. We've lost 3 on the trot. I'm sore. You're sore. We're hurting. We're all aching, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sore.
I do honestly hope, I genuinely mean this, right? I'm annoyed, but I genuinely mean that I do hope that this is a turning point in Birmingham City's very long and illustrious journey. I do hope. Good night from the team. Claire Giblin.
Good night. See you on Saturday.
Take it easy, man. Craig Courtney.
Good night, everyone. And let's not forget, it's not just Saturday at home, it's Sunday at home for the ladies as well. So if you can get down there, let's get behind them, keep them that winning streak going.
Chairman of the board, the one on Instagram.
Good evening, everybody. And Saturday will be my second home game of the season because we haven't played on a Saturday for 2.5 months.
I don't know where you're looking, Alan, but you're looking sideways.
The camera's there.
It's not at my nose today.
From Chris Browne.
Good evening. Goodbye, I mean. Sorry. I'll get there in the end.
You've only got one job, mate, honestly. Mark.
Which one?
UK Mark, sorry.
Okay. Have a good week, everyone. I'm looking forward to Saturday and see people on Saturday.
USA Mark.
Good night, all. Harry O'Connor.
Good and much. Good and much.
And I just want to say top marks to Gary Manda. Right said Fred Pickering.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was good.
Yes.
Very good. Very good indeed. Very good.
Right, all.
Good night.
Pleasure. And of course, Craig Courtney.
Is he still there?
I've already been on once, but I'll say it again. Good night.
I know. I just wanted to give you a double.
I want to be twice. I want to be twice as well.
Night, John boy.
Thank you so much.
Night, Claire. Night,
And of
Alan.
course, good night from Craig Courtney.
Yeah, good night,
Bye.
Paul.
And from myself and the whole team here, wow, we just love doing this. It's our life. Good night, God bless, take care. Have a great week. And let's hope we can just... I really mean it. Let's hope we can just talk of better things next Monday. Good night.
Nick is finally awake.
And
Oh, what, sorry?
Stay flying tomorrow night. Don't forget the route picks up a little bit faster every year.
And it's good night from Craig Courtney.
These are 3.
Night, John boy.
Good night from Craig Courtney.
Sweet dreams, everyone.
Bye. Sainsbury's
Good
still open? I
night.
think it is.